Hey guys, this is Minister Q again, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to talk today about hard-pressed. Um, Hard-pressed is when there's so many pressures of life that are taking place in your life, and you can have thing after thing, circumstance after circumstance. It seems like things are not letting up, and the unwise are ones who are not fully understanding of God around you can judge you, right? You guys hear me talk about that a lot on my page, but I want to encourage people who are going through the same thing as me. It makes it all worth the while when you get hooked onto God so that he can explain to you, hey, you're not doing anything wrong. You may go through a lot of things and make a lot of mistakes. Of course, people are not going to like you. Let me explain to you, being your God, that people will have the wrong opinions and things about you because they don't understand the spiritual realm. So I want to take it back to the Father. That one missing link piece that we are missing is missing God being God in our life. And when we take the steering wheel, so to speak, for our own life, it's hard for us to see the truth and to see things for how it is. And my dear friends, the truth of seeing things the way that it is that we came from a spiritual father, whether if we like it or not. We all have children. We love them when they're little, they're cute. We take pictures with them when they get older. Some of our children take another seat and like, I cannot believe you're my mom. I don't like who you are. And you can have an uncle, a brother. You guys grew up together, loving, but they don't like who you are now. Things happen that way in life where things turn, the pages turn, life turns, thoughts change, people change, personality change. Every 10 years, your taste buds change. Google that. And sometimes we can't stop the current of life and what happens and what takes place. But one thing that we have to know is to know a source, to go back to a source, the source. And in this topic of the situation that I'm talking about in this conversation, the source is God. There are point systems out here. We find God through what? Our life. Whether if we see him at first or not, you can come to a place. You can come out of a not good place. You can fall into a wrong place from a good place. Or you can fall into a worse state from a state that was kind of bad, a little bit less, but now worse, much worse. It just depends on who? Us, our dominion. Will we decide to slow down in life and kind of gather ourselves together? Okay, so and so is not helping me. Where is God? What's going on? Don't even know who this God is. I'm gonna just do what I do best. I'm gonna do what I know, what I taught me, because my mom and my father wasn't there for me anyway. Everybody in my family blames me, talks about me. My mama died when I was young. I had a kid at 13. My mama died when I was 10 and had cancer. I don't even know who my father is because my mama was just having sex with any time and who, you know what I was going to say with that. And now I just don't know, why would God do something like that with my life? And the beautiful thing about God is that he meets us where we're at. You know, we get hard pressed. You know, if you're in a place where you're hard pressed and every time you look up, it seems like something is always happening. You seem like you can't get it right, or you get a good job, that's going good, but a situation comes on the other side that starts taking and boiling you down. Who do you think is doing that? Especially if you're living for God. You have principalities, you have demons, you have wickedness in high places. And that's not a religious statement. I don't know about anybody else, but when you come to this channel, you got to know the truth, and I'm going to keep it real about what's going on. I'm just so glad that God gives me the experiences to show and come back and tell, because if somebody is not experiencing it quite like this, somebody could hear God say something and spill all this revelation, but it's something, and it's something a little bit different when somebody goes through something. I don't want to be a vessel. It doesn't feel good at all. for Minister Q to go through so many experiences. Why? Number one, it brings judgment to say, okay, is all this stuff that she's seeing is real, or you're going through all this because of rebellion. If it wasn't for the men and women of God in the Bible, more men who gave their experiences on hell, people like Bill Weiss, but people back in the day about what they saw, like Ezekiel when he got caught up and all these different things and all these different things. There's all these labelings, whether it be in the past or the future. We all know that Satan is going to be Satan and God is going to be God, but in the middle, we got to get our getting and make our decision, be on the left side, the losing side, we're going to call it, with Satan and all that, and be blinded by deception, thinking things are right, calling evil good. Or we're going to get on the other side with God, the winning team, where it looks like possibly your life is always a mess, where it looks like you're losing, but you have so much spiritual blessing waiting for you on the other side of your treasures. Because once you do what's right, how many of you know, if you got somebody that's trying to flirt with you, people can relate if you've been raped before or things like that. You had a lot of money, somebody came and stole something off your card. When it comes to you're doing the right thing, and how many people know in this kind of world, you are hard pressed trying to do the right thing. You're hard pressed trying to stand and do the right thing, because nobody is for righteousness hardly anymore. So therefore now, excuse me, people are looking at you. People looking at me. Whoever's going and can relate to what I'm going through, doing what's right is not the thing anymore. Meaning, let me give you one example. If you're married, you're going through all kinds of hell and high water. You go to your friend's house, you drop off some boxes. There's a hot guy there. He sees you. You're going through a lot with your husband. Let's say he even left you for 3-4 months. There's a guy there, want to talk to you. You're being sweet. You're a Christian. And he's just like, hey, I want to talk to you. And you're just being honest and truthful. I'm married. I'm a Christian. Okay, well, where's your husband at? Now, it's up to you at that point if you want to spread your business and say, we're separated, this, and that. That's how sometimes things go when somebody keeps hard pressing you. You let him know the situation. He's like, okay, well, why don't you just, let me do this and do that. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, it seems foreign to stick in there and stand and do what's right no matter what. It seems like it's not a good thing to wait on God while you're long suffering, because God rewards long suffering and faithfulness and committedness. But God can't find hardly anybody. Harvest is plentiful, laborers are few, to try to find somebody who is still standing, no matter how many temptations and wiles of the devil there are. Because anytime you suffer, anytime in a car accident or whatever you're going through, there's always a restoration period that comes around. But before you get there, all hell breaks loose. All comments and judgment and all these things happen. You get abandoned. You may get homeless. You may do whatever the situation is. You could lose someone, lost a baby, whatever the case. There's a process before you get the blessing. But it seems like you get to all the bad before you get to good. It seems like you start off having a baby by making love and having sex with your husband or your wife, and you guys get pregnant, and all of a sudden it was a good thing and it felt great to make that baby by having orgasms and releasing sperm, and sperm traveling up to the fallopian tube, and you're getting pregnant, and the exciting news. But then all of a sudden, in the middle of all that, you start getting nauseous. You're throwing up for the ones who have the headaches and this and that. I can hear people say, some of them, I ain't never experienced that. Okay, well, for the people that went through that, or you can understand and can relate by hearing that somebody else went through it, right? And then you get all these stretching pains, things begin to change in life, all because there's change coming. There's a new person that's coming. It's a baby and it's growing, and you got to feed it in the middle of all this nauseous and do certain things to kind of knock down and take down the pain. If you do certain things to help you numb things out, even though you're going through all of that, you can minimize your suffering. And that's how it is when it comes to God. You could be hard pressed, going through hell and high water, but God says, here are your minimizations. Prayer, Forgiveness. Don't hold on to things. Don't be getting into anybody's business. Read the word of God. Stay so close to God when you can be hidden in Psalms 91. Pray for your enemies. Bless them. Always be joyous. Always pray and always get deliverance. Don't start and spark up things like if God is wanting you to wait for a marriage or wait for a certain job and he say stay put. Don't go off and make decisions out of haste and turmoil and cause something else to be going on while you're waiting. Like if you're waiting on God and you're a virgin and then you get so tempted, you give in. Hey, here it is. Okay, well, God forgives. But you give in, and instead of waiting for your spouse in the future that God promises, let's say you had a dream, but you didn't know the day or the year, and you in the middle had a one-night stand and got pregnant. Now you're waiting on your future husband or future wife with a baby. And then let's just say you go and do it again. Now you're waiting on your future wife or future husband with 2 kids. And then you do it again, and then now you're waiting on your future wife or your future husband with 3 kids. Now things begin to, I guess, somewhat minimize in certain areas, because what if your future spouse, if you tie your tubes, wanted a kid? So God tries to save us from things, and he tries to speak to us the best way he can through people. But we continue to not recognize God, and we continue to badger and despise the way that God comes because we don't understand God. So we got to take our time every day and all day to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to get to know God, how we're going to unravel and let the curse be reversed, how we judge God so much and say that he's not there and he doesn't exist. God is such a cool God. He's the one that gave us our good looks. He's the one that gave us our beautiful green, blue eyes. And even if you don't even like your life, he's given us the breath in our body. You don't need to be beautiful to make a change in this world. You don't need to be looking like, I don't even want to say Beyonce. She's not even like something to me like that. You don't have to be anything like that or what you need to do anything. If there was a crisis that broke out and God gave you the answer and key, and you was a person who was overweight with a whole bunch of acne on your face, but you was the only one who had a truck to get everybody out of a burning house, I guarantee you they would turn around and thank you for the heroism and the love and the boldness and the courage to get them out of that situation. So begin to ponder and think on these type of things and think about how God works and not how the world works anymore, and get deliverance. Be blessed.